It's pretty sad to admit this, but some of my earliest memories as a child were being in primary school and going up to the dinner ladies and trying to ask them, what in front of me is fattening? Because I'm a fat kid and I don't want to be fat anymore. And I could never really get a definitive answer. Which brings me on to the next concept that took me nearly 20 years to understand. These are not fattening if you don't overconsume them. This is fattening if you overconsume the amount of calories you need on a daily basis. And that these are not fattening as long as you don't overconsume the amount of calories you need on a daily basis. You see where I'm going. Absolutely nothing is fattening if you don't overconsume it for the amount of calories you need on a daily basis. On the other hand, a perfectly healthy diet could be fattening if you were to overconsume the amount of calories in that given day. However, the caveat is, it's incredibly difficult to overeat on incredibly healthy foods. If I was to give you $1 or £1 for every calorie you could consume in an hour and let you into a supermarket, you wouldn't exactly be grabbing the broccoli. Am I right? So suddenly I reach my 20s, I'm off to university and I'm out of the grasp of reach of my mum's cooking. And I don't know about you, but I'm from a household where it was disrespectful to not just finish your dinner, but to not tuck in for seconds. And what did I do at university? I did what millions did. I bought P90X.
Hey everybody, welcome to Back and Biceps. Welcome to Yoga X. Core synergistics, chest and back. The mother of all X workouts.
I bought the Insanity workout.
For so many people willing to dig so deep.
These results right here, this is what comes from the Insanity program.
Oh my God, this is insane.
I still now have PTSD and the voices in the side of my head. Dig deeper. I did HIIT workouts every day for months on end and I lost 0 body fat. Why? Because that type of training made me a lot hungrier. So when it comes to actually burning belly fat, what exercises can we go to? Good news is, I got Alex Hormozi to contribute to this video to give me his best advice when it comes to exercises for fat loss.
If you want to make $2 million, buy a company that's worth $10 million, but only pay $8 million for it, then sell it for $10 million. You'll make $2 million.
But Alex, I wanted you to give fat loss advice.
If you want a good exercise for fat loss, do bicep curls and consume less calories than you're currently eating. Another great exercise for fat loss. Sorry, I gotta take this, it's an important call. Consume less calories than you're currently eating. There is no exercise for fat loss. Gotta consume less calories than you're currently eating.
Alex Hormozi, if you're watching this, I actually like you. I really rate your book. Just couldn't resist. Easy target, what can I say? And the reason that I take the piss out of this so much is that I for many years thought I had belly fat because I didn't do the right type of exercise. And although I've said it a million times that there is no exercise for fat loss, I actually did in fact stumble across an exercise that over the years has not only helped me lose fat, but keep fat off. And that exercise that's contributed to more fat loss throughout my whole life than anything else is, walking. I might have to wear a wife beater more often. Now, one of the reasons I love walking so much is it doesn't really make me that hungry after I do it, unlike other high intensity exercises. Someone famous once said, no good idea was thought of not walking. And it's something that I could do every single day, even if I was injured. Tell you what's funny, I bought the Crocs as like a bit of banter for the Hormozi skit. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put them into a segue in one of the videos. I didn't even know how it was gonna look. And what started off as just a bit of banter. It's turned into a bit of a love affair. And I'm man enough to admit the fact that I have another pair coming today. And I know I've done this a million times before, but if we use my body weight as a representation of the amount of calories that we burn in a day, me being about 100 kilograms, 60 kilograms, 60% of the amount of calories I will burn today will be at rest. If you want to burn a significant amount of calories, you can do so while asleep, whilst chilling on the sofa, whilst just breathing and living your damn life. The yellow represents non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is your walking, your fidgeting, your moving, any unplanned exercise that you do in the day. And although technically it's not neat if you plan to go for a walk, if you get your step count up and just move more than you would on a usual day, bush. And you can see already how many calories are burnt throughout the day, over 75% not in the gym. The green can represent the amount of calories you burn on a day that you train. But keep in mind, this 10%, if you only train every other day, becomes 5%. And if you had to put your eggs in the basket of where you wanted to burn calories on a daily basis, you'd be better off hitting a step count than you would be jumping around your room like an idiot once or twice, maybe 3 times a week. When looking at the tools that we have in our arsenal to lose and reduce belly fat, surely reducing the amount of calories coming in and letting these guys do the work for us is going to be the best thing that we can do. And this white plate here is going to represent something called the thermic effect of feeding, which is the amount of calories that we lose through digestion, and high protein diets will contribute to more calories burnt through that. Now, if we actually add all of these up, quick maths, 60, 75, 85, 90, Where's the other 10%, James? Well, that's a variable because there are going to be differences between us. Some of us with more muscle mass or potentially a genetic variation to do so might burn more calories at rest. Those of us that typically move on more of a daily basis or we've got manual labor jobs. I used to work on a building site. My NEAT would have been massive. My EAT would have been non-existent because I didn't train in the gym until I was 21. But this is really the meat and bones of it. When looking to all of these different components for where we should allocate our energy and effort to losing that stubborn belly fat, surely being active and putting yourself in a calorie deficit will trump any exercise that I could put in front of you today. I'm going to be late for training. So you know you need a calorie deficit, you know that you shouldn't be looking at exercises for fat loss. What else can you do to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit? Well, come with me. When it comes to pumping up my tires, I want to make sure that I'm putting the right amount of air in those tires. Too much, and it could burst. Too little, and it will go flat. And there's a reason that we have guidelines. And every tire is probably going to be slightly different when it comes to the amount of air that we put in it. I mean, sure, you could just guess. Yeah, mate, gave your tyre a good cooking and feels like she's on the money. But no, you wouldn't just kick the tyre and try and make a guess as to whether or not you put the right amount in. You would check to see what amount that tyre needs and then give it that amount. Why don't you do the same with yourself? I know that Karen from down the road tried dieting, didn't work out for her. Now she's a plus size model trying to share her flaps online for a bit of cashola, but still, if it's important, you want to know you're putting the right amount in. Jesus, if someone was to shortchange you, even by like a pound, you'd say, hey mate, you've shortchanged me. When we're looking at the amount going in and the amount coming out, whether it's finances, whether it's air in a tyre, it is important. Because being shortchanged a pound isn't the worst thing in the world, but if it happened every single day, over a long span of time, it becomes a big problem. Chances are you're not even overeating that much, it's probably just a small amount, but the compounding interest of doing that every single day over the year, that's 365 bouts of overeating. And gaining weight is a lot like debt. Sure, it's only a small amount, but small amounts of debt compound over long periods of time. Oh, but James, you pay interest in the world of finances. How does that apply to the human body? Well, if you gain 10 kilograms of fat in a year, that next year, you're going to be a fatter, slower version of yourself who has worse sleep, worse moods, less inclination to train, less self-esteem. I could go on. And people that feel like shit don't often feel like eating a salad. They feel like eating more shit to make themselves happy. It's an ongoing, never-ending cycle of gaining interest until you get to the point where you feel like you can't escape the debt and you just give up. Sound familiar? And for any of you out there that don't really want to track calories, you know, I'm a masculine man, do it for a month. That's all I'm asking. It's like tracing paper at school. We give you the tracing paper to improve your habits so we can remove it and the skills you learn remain. I don't track my calories anymore, but it was a godsend when I did. Put it this way, from the first day I started tracking calories to the last day I started tracking calories, my girlfriend's got like 8 times hotter, phenomenally hotter, so much hotter. Now, you might already be in a relationship. There are several outcomes. You get in better shape, she gets in better shape. You get in better shape, you trade her in for a hotter model, or she's already in good shape and you're not in good shape, so you sort your life out and then you have a better relationship or whatever it is. So now I'm going to hit you with the final kicker that I'll probably get some stick for, and I wouldn't surprise me if some other personal trainers in the industry screen record this and try and have a pop, but whatever. I have always had belly fat and I will always have belly fat. Some areas of my body remain very lean, but I have always had fat on my stomach and I always will have fat on my stomach. And trust me, I've spent years being really unhappy with this, so you don't have to. If there was one profession in the world where it'd really help for you to have a six-pack, trust me, it'd be a personal trainer. But not many of you watching this are even personal trainers, and for some reason you don't think you can be accepted in life without having a six-pack. As to the reason why I struggle with losing this bit of belly fat, maybe it's genetics, maybe it's willpower. And you know what? I'm sure if I did reduce my calories for a long enough period of time, I would get rid of it. But here's the point. I don't want to. So many fitness professionals online try and allude to the point that this is stubborn belly fat, this is a different type of belly fat to the normal types of belly fat. But let me tell you this. For so many of you out there, you are going to diet down to a point where you're going to hit a plateau and everything's going to feel so difficult and so hard, and you're going to think that you're going to need to change up your feeding windows and maybe start getting fat strippers. No, not big girls moving around a pole like fat loss pills. But ultimately, your lifestyle and your physique aspirations are going to butt heads at a certain point. And for me, I was depressed about it. I had low self-esteem about it. I felt shit taking my top off. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, do you know what? I sleep good. I perform well in sport. And being at a higher body fat percentage than most of my peers puts me in a much better place to build muscle and to recover faster. To me, giving up 95% of the things I like in life for a 5% change in body weight just isn't worth it. Many of you may have started watching this video hoping that there was some type of exercise or some kind of elixir or magical potion that I could give you to lose that last bit of belly fat. But let me tell you the real truth that you need to take away from this video and implement to the rest of your life. There is one thing all of you should be focusing on. And that is when you go to bed at night and you put your head on the pillow, you ask yourself, did I do everything I could have done today? Did I do my best? And if you did, well done, pat yourself on the back for a couple of minutes, then do it again tomorrow. And if you go to bed and you go, no, I didn't do my best today, well, do better tomorrow. Losing that last bit of belly fat probably won't make you happy like you think it will. You'll have to give up so many things in your life that make you happy already to get it. You feel pretty deflated when you get there, but changing your goals and your values towards going to bed and saying to yourself, did I do the best I could do today? Well, that will make you happy, because I've been doing that for a few years now. It's benefited my life more than I could ever let you know. You know that part at the end of a video where people get really desperate to, oh my God, subscribe to my channel, make sure you hit like. I don't care, just keep watching the videos, because you need them.